Coverage of our Scarlet Hawks athletics on Milford TV is brought to you by the following sponsors. Our presenting sponsor, the Rentschler Flatbread Company, a casual American dining experience with locations in Hudson and on Main Street here in Milford. Rentschler Biopharma, sponsor of our broadcast booth. Rentschler Biopharma transforms innovative ideas into life-saving biopharmaceuticals. Rentschler Biopharma, reliability you can trust. And Unibank, big bank know-how, community bank attitude, serving the Milford community at their local branch on Prospect Street inside the Shaw's Plaza.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the gymnasium here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Milford TV Executive Director Tim Coet here with you on the final week of the month of January, and we start out our coverage this week with more girls basketball action for you, as tonight your Milford Scarlet Hawks welcome in a very difficult opponent to the Milford Hardwood here tonight in the two-time defending state champion Foxboro Warriors. Milford coming into this matchup fresh off of a big victory here at home last Friday in a game that we covered for you here on Milford TV. And so with that victory, the girls come into action tonight in 5th place in the Kelly Rec standings. They are now 5-8 overall on the season, and Foxboro, meanwhile, comes in first place in the Davenport division. They are 11-1 on the season. It almost goes without saying that Foxboro is one of the standard bearers in terms of women's basketball in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, just so dominant year in and year out, and they have been absolutely at the peak of their powers in these last 2 seasons especially. Back-to-back state championship victories, just flat-out domination, barely a loss on the schedule. And so a lot for Milford to contend with here tonight. The Scarlet Hawks in as the heavy underdog in this matchup tonight. Meanwhile, Alasia Drummonds will drop in the first shot of this basketball game from 3-point territory. And now it is the Scarlet Hawks with their first offensive possession and an immediate giveaway into the leading scorer in all of the Hockomock League. That's Kaylee Sullivan. She ended up giving the ball up to Adriana Parazzo, who dropped in the easy layup. So many players on this Foxboro lineup that can hurt you, as Ava Baglione was wide open for 3, but sends it off the side of the rim. So a quick start for the Warriors. Threats from deep, threats under the rim. Plenty of height on this roster, and you can see it right there on display with Addie Reuter, who is one of the most dominant low-post players in the Hockomock League this season. Had an injury that hampered her productivity a season ago, got healthy in the later part of the year, but has been fully healthy this season and has been a double-double machine for this Foxboro team all season long. So a very quick 7-0 lead now for the Warriors, just about 2 minutes into this first quarter. Milford head coach Austin Costa healthy again and back with the team after he missed coaching last Friday's game due to illness. Nice offensive rebound here for Foxboro to keep the possession alive, and then again they continue to crash the boards. This time the ball comes loose. Baglione will run the floor and misses the layup. Parazzo was able to pester her just enough to be uncomfortable with that layup. Kernan now with a blocked shot down on the defensive end. So good effort there for the Scarlet Hawks. Long outlet pass, continuing to try to get Ava activated in the offense, as she was such a vital component to Milford's win against the Taunton Tigers here last Friday night. Milford with another turnover to help their cause, and now Kernan attacking the basket. She draws the foul, and a chance here from the free throw line for Milford to get their first points of the night. 5:22 on the first quarter clock. Foul called on one of the senior captains for Foxboro, Ava Hill. As Kernan rattles in a free throw. Free throws, such a storyline for Milford against Taunton last Friday night. They were very problematic for Milford for the first 3 quarters. But when they needed the most, when the game was hanging in the balance in the fourth quarter, Milford was nearly perfect from the line, in particular Ava Baglione, who went 7 consecutive free throws, ended up making 7 of 8 in total in the fourth quarter, and that was absolutely pivotal for Milford to come away with that win that broke their 7-game losing streak. Ava Hill with a shot from underneath the basket. And it's a 7-point lead once again for the Foxboro Warriors here with 4:58 on the first quarter clock. And then quick off the inbounds pass, it's Reuter. Foxboro putting pressure on now in the backcourt. Pellegrini a little behind the back dribble, able to advance into the front court. And now it's Baglione. Gets closed off. Has to dribble it back out and hand off to TJ Downing. TJ ended up leading Milford in points in that win against the Tigers on Friday night. Quick release from the corner for Olivia. Baglione's no good. Kernan gets the rebound and then gets rejected by Reuter on the way up, but Milford able to steal back. And now from the corner, that shot rims out, and the rebound controlled by Adriana Parazzo. Milford getting some looks here offensively, but only points from the free throw line so far, and an even 10-point lead, meanwhile, for the Warriors. This is a team that can put up points in a hurry, and again, in just so many different ways. There's Reuter again, just a mismatch underneath the hoop. Foxboro coming into tonight's action, averaging 65.8 points per game, and a defense that allows just 35.6 points a night. Dominant on both ends of the floor. Kernan now looking for an angle. Shot clock winding down and trying to force that pass into Olivia Baglione. Deflects. Now long outlet pass. And heads up play for Foxboro to kick it back out. And a beautiful shot from three-point territory for Perazzo, who now has 5 points in this first quarter. Reuter leads the attack so far for the Tigers with 6 points, and Coach Costa calling a timeout as the deficit has very quickly grown to 15 points. And unfortunately not a surprising start here, as again, Foxboro has been brutalizing teams in the Hockomock League all season long. The only team in the Hockomock League that has had any kind of answer for Foxboro in recent seasons has been the Oliver Ames Tigers. Foxboro came into this season with a 34-game winning streak against Hockomock League teams. That streak eventually grew to 37 games before Oliver Ames finally snapped that streak, handing Foxboro their only loss of the season back on January 3rd, a 52-48 win for Oliver Ames. Other than that, no Hawk team has been able to touch this Warriors team in multiple seasons. That is just how good this team has been. So it has really been impressive what this program has been able to do year in and year out, of course, under the direction of legendary head coach Lisa Downs. A little bit of a shaky inbounds pass. Baglione was able to secure it, now in some big-time trouble. Gets a pass away to Kernan. Had a decent look down low, but couldn't make the shot. Milford able to control the rebound. Reagan Cunningham now onto the floor out of the timeout. Coach Costa right now playing with both Pellegrini and Cunningham on the floor. Cunningham in a double team, and that ball ends up out of play, and it will exchange hands into the Foxboro Warriors. Reuter will get a rest on the bench here with 2:35 to go in the quarter, and it's still a 15-point Foxboro lead. So smaller lineup out there right now for the Warriors. Kaylee Sullivan still on the floor. Sullivan with no points so far on the night, but again, Foxboro just so deep offensively, still able to build up a double-digit lead. Pass up ahead to Kernan, high bank off the glass, and there is Milford's first points from the floor in this quarter. And then quickly the other way goes Sullivan, and she gets fouled on her way to the rim. Likely to go on Kernan. First foul of the night on Caitlin. Kaylee Sullivan coming into this week is once again the leading scorer in all of the Hockomock League, averaging 25.6 points per game. The only other player averaging 20-plus a night is Oliver Ames' Avery Gamble. So Kaylee Sullivan reestablishes the largest lead of the night for the Warriors, as again, Ava able to get to the basket but couldn't secure the layup. And now a triple team under the basket on Alasia Drummonds. She's able to kick a pass back outside. Now the shot goes off the side of the backboard. Cunningham able to track it down, and she gets fouled. The lead for Foxboro 15 as we approach 90 seconds to play in the first quarter. Emily Janssens now checks into the game. with Olivia Baglione now on the bench. Again, Foxboro applies the pressure. Downing into the front court. Has Kernan on the wing, now cutting underneath the basket. The pass instead goes across the court to Ava Baglione, now to Cunningham for the shot. That's no good. Milford tries to pin along the sideline, trying to create some pressure of their own. Here's Kernan able to jar the ball loose, and Kernan diving for the loose ball ended up going over the back of Naomi Aguas Vivas, and they're going to call a foul on Kernan. And right now, a conversation between one of the officials and Coach Costa, of course, putting up the argument that Kernan was going for the ball when that contact took place, but that argument will go nowhere. So 2 fouls now on Kernan, still in the first quarter, and Alasia Drummonds is able to put in the shot. She has 5 points in the first, less than a minute to go in the opening quarter, and Foxboro already over the 20-point mark. Downing now will toss up a high arcing contested shot that's no good. Jansen's able to fight for the loose ball and trying to send a pass back outside to Downing, but telegraphed it, and it's easily stolen by Sullivan. She misses the layup, and now an open jumper is knocked down by Bryn Allen off the bench. 5 different scorers for the Warriors in this first quarter. Shot clock now turned off. A 19-point Warriors lead. Bounce pass into Cunningham. She sends it back out to Kay Pellegrini. And now it's Baglione. Tries to go up and under and gets blocked. 1 second left as Foxboro heaves it down the court. But a dominant opening for the 2-time defending state champs as they open up an early 23-4 lead. And so Milford taking some heavy body blows here from this vaunted Foxboro offense. We'll see what kind of adjustments the Scarlet Hawks can make as we will continue our coverage into the second quarter after a quick timeout. Bringing you this coverage live from our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth. Coverage will continue in just a moment here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Together with their partners, Rentschler Biopharma transforms innovative ideas into life-saving biopharmaceuticals. Rentschler Biopharma, reliability you can trust. Welcome back into the Milford Gym as we begin the second quarter in this contest between the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the Foxboro Warriors. Kaylee Sullivan lines up a 3 on the opening possession here in the second quarter. Sullivan with just 2 points from the free throw line so far tonight, but the rest of the Foxboro lineup has been able to do a lot of damage. Sullivan now bouncing off of TJ Downing. Drives to the far side, still cannot connect on a shot. But Foxboro controlling the offensive glass. Sullivan now from 3, no good. And that ball will tip out of play. Milford will take over. So 3 or 4 looks at the rim that time for Foxboro, and Sullivan not 100% comfortable. And again, it's pick your poison for defenses as Milford's going to turn it over here. More on that in a moment. As this ball is knocked free, Milford can't get there. Sullivan picks up the loose ball and sends it along outside to Kylie Sampson, and back across onto the near side now for Naomi Aguas Vivas. Sullivan trying to get free. Floater that misses, and now I think they'll say that Olivia Baglione dribbled that ball out of bounds. And so Foxboro with a fresh shot clock, a chance to inbound, and it's been almost exclusively on the Foxboro offensive side of the floor here so far in the quarter. Here's Sullivan again trying to draw contact, and no shots falling for Kaylee Sullivan so far in this game. So a solid minute and a half on the offensive side of the floor for Foxboro. They don't come away with any points, and now Reagan Cunningham, nice little hook shot, drops in. Milford just tries to chip away. Long pass to Sullivan. She passes up the look from three. Janssens tries to keep close. Active hands there for Pellegrini. Kyla Nashawati now perched at the scorer's table. Cutter to the basket. Sends a pass, I should say, over to the near side. That's going to be a long two for Bryn Allen as it eventually spins around and drops in the cup for 2 points. Pellegrini trying to dribble out of danger. Has to get this ball into the front court. Janssens will eventually get there. Ava Baglione also waiting to check back into the game. Olivia trying to time out that shot, but still had it blocked, and Foxboro comes away with another turnover. Sullivan again from three. That's over everything. Kylie Sampson keeps the possession alive. Back to Allen. He's had a couple of baskets off the bench in this first half. Sullivan now trying to get around TJ. Able to get all the way in. And there's the first shot of the night for Sullivan and a chance to make it a three-point play. And able to complete the three-point play. Sullivan had 28 points in Foxboro's most recent victory. That was a 54-29 win over North Attleboro. So in that game, Sullivan had almost as many points as the entire North Attleboro offense. Just 1 point away. Foxboro also overwhelming the Sharon Eagles last week, 81-33. 27 points for Kaylee Sullivan on that particular night. Sullivan had a 35-point night earlier this season. Again, just such a gifted scorer. Scored 1,000 points in her junior year. She's already now over the 1,300-point mark for her career. As Kylie Sampson off the bench puts in a three, extends the Foxboro lead now to 31-6. An even 25-point lead now for the visitors, as Baglione finds herself in all kinds of trouble, commits the travel, and Milford has barely gotten a shot off in this second quarter. Reuter back onto the floor. They were trying to feed the center on that play. Milford collapsing in defensively and eventually forcing a Foxboro travel. It's Downing, Ava Baglione, Kyla Nashawati, Kate Pellegrini, and Reagan Cunningham, the five on the floor right now for the Scarlet Hawks. The ball comes loose. Downing with a little bit of a shove there. Got away with some physicality. And Foxboro comes down the floor with purpose. Ava Baglione now mixing it up, despite the size mismatch with Addie Reuter. Ava picks up the foul. TJ Downing will get a rest on the sideline here. Olivia Baglione returns to the floor. And bounce pass to Reuter, now kicked back out. Tipped into the backcourt by Olivia. And now good help from Kyla Nashawati to create the turnover. And now out on the perimeter, the look for Baglione, the shot off target. And so a good opportunity created there off the turnover for Milford, but again, they're not able to capitalize offensively. And this is another thing that this Warriors team does. They require you to commit such effort and energy on the defensive side of the floor that it just wears teams down. Olivia delivering that pass up ahead towards Kay Pellegrini, swatted out of play by Reuter. And so now Caitlin Kernan will return to action. She has 2 fouls, 2 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the first half. Baglione with a long 2 that didn't quite have the distance. Cunningham with an initial rebound and put back chance, can't capitalize. And Milford remains with just 2 points in the second quarter. Cunningham pokes the ball free, but back to get it is Ava Hill. And now Cunningham out on the perimeter. Kernan as well, good defense. Hill able to recover now again. Kernan trying to jar the ball loose, and she's going to get whistled for foul number 3. I beg your pardon, they'll whistle this foul on Cunningham, so a break there for Kernan. Reuter backing her way in, instead kicks it back out. Extra pass gets it to the corner for Hill. The shot no good. Kaylee Sullivan with an offensive rebound, and then slings it outside. Wide open look, Perazzo for 3, no good. And Hill able to save that ball from going out of play. Reuter will get the shot. And a chance to make it a 3-point play. Second foul of the night now called on Ava. Smattering of fans in attendance here tonight. Unfortunately, another sparse crowd for this Varsity girls basketball team. Had the families out supporting this program all season long. It would be great to see the student section in action as well. Down to 1:38 to go in the first half. Coach Costa staying positive on the sideline. Nashawati back into the game. Ava back on the sideline now with a couple of fouls. Pellegrini trying to work off of a screen, gets open for a shot. It's no good. Ball tipped out of play. It will stay Milford basketball. Milford able to get that ball in. Now back out for 3 for Nashawati. The shot offline. And Hill, meanwhile, is going to get called for a foul. She has 2 now. First team foul in the second quarter for Foxboro. Milford has 4. Free throws coming up here for Reagan Cunningham. 1 out of 2 at the line for Cunningham. Trailing the play, Sullivan still trying to heat up shooting in this game. Misses from 3, misses the layup, but there is Reuter to clean up the trash. Double figures now for Addie Reuter with an even 10 points. Less than 60 seconds remain in the half as Pellegrini lets it fly from 3, and Milford's outside shooting has not been particularly close in this first half. Foxboro attacking the basket. That shot no good. Downing able to come away with the loose ball. She'll take it all the way in, floats it up. Shot is no good. Shot clock now turned off as we come down the final stretch of the first half, and a beautiful shot from Alasia Drummonds. 8 points in the half for Alasia. And Milford with 8 seconds left. And count the shot for TJ Downing from 3. Milford's second made basket of this quarter, and a chance for TJ to make it a 4-point play and at least get Milford to double digits before the half. And so right now, there's some confusion on the court. They're calling that a 2 for TJ Downing. She was most certainly beyond the three-point line. It was not even close. And the conversations right now continue. And so now they adjust the scoreboard, and certainly the right call made there. And TJ able to complete the play. And so a chance for one more shot here. It's Sullivan who dribbles ahead and misses the shot yet again. And so the bad news for Foxboro, Sullivan with just 5 points in the first half, only one made basket from the floor, the rest of the points coming from the free throw line. But the good news is everyone else contributing heavily, and a big lead for Foxboro at the half. 38-11 is the score. So we will step aside here now for halftime, and again, want to acknowledge all of our sponsors helping to make our sports coverage happen here on Milford TV. Our presenting sponsor of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV is the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Coverage also brought to you in part by Rentschler Biopharma, our broadcast booth sponsor, and also by Unibank. We will be back with second half coverage in a few minutes, so if you're with us on the live coverage, hang tight. Coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV, again presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Welcome back inside our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth. Coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV is presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company, a casual American dining experience specializing in an all-scratch-made kitchen featuring wood-fired flatbreads. An inviting atmosphere for the whole family to enjoy. When we come back inside the gym for second half coverage in this varsity girls basketball matchup between Milford and Foxboro. Foxboro coming in as advertised, building up a 27-point lead at the half. Milford, thanks to TJ Downing, able to get 4 points right at the close of the second quarter to pull themselves into double digits. But it has been a challenging evening, as we thought it would be, for the Scarlet Hawks. And Alasia Drummonds, who started off the first half with a 3, will now start the second half with a 3. She had 8 points in the first half, so now up to 11. Kernan thinking about releasing a 3, but good defense from Ava Hill, and eventually Milford coughs it up. Barrazo runs the floor, and Ava Baglione able to strip that ball away. Nice job defensively there for the Scarlet Hawks. Milford back to their starting five. Coach Costa doing a lot of mixing and matching in the first half, partly due to fouls. Caitlin Kernan and Ava Baglione both with a pair of fouls in the first half. Kernan trying to work off of a screen. Didn't like the shot. Now shot clock winding down. Kernan releases a deep three and could not get enough on it. And Milford with a shot clock violation. Foxboro's runs to their state title in each of the last two seasons have not exactly been filled with drama. Just as they have been dominant in the regular season, Foxboro has been equally untouchable in the postseason. 2 years ago, when they were in Division II in the playoffs, they coasted to a state championship despite being the 5 seed in that Division II bracket, won every game by over 20 points, including the state championship game. And then last season moved into Division III. They were the number 1 seed in the bracket and won every game by at least 20 points or more as Kernan attacks the basket and gets the first Milford points here in the second half. And if I'm not mistaken, Foxboro was on the verge of playing in a state championship game in the spring of 2020 when the COVID pandemic first popped up and canceled the end of the winter sports playoffs right at the state championship level. So this has been a program that has played deep into the tournament, has contended for state championships, and has won multiple state championships for a good chunk of the 2020s. Here's Downing now putting up a contested shot. It's no good. Olivia Baglione fighting down low for the rebound, and now Kernan knocks down a three. 5 points for Kernan in this third quarter. And meanwhile, Ava Baglione commits a foul off the inbound, so she now has 3 fouls. Continues to be out there for the time being, now trying to run the floor, but it'll be Downing who dribbles it into the front court. Hand off to Pellegrini, and now Ava didn't like the look. Gets it back to Kernan and floats that ball through the hands of Kay Pellegrini outside. Nice job by TJ Downing there to track that ball down and avoid the backcourt violation. And I beg your pardon, that pass went through the hands of Olivia Baglione. A little too high for Olivia to pull down. Olivia looking to get that inbounds pass in, able to gun it into Pellegrini. And now getting pestered defensively. Addie Reuter able to contribute to that steal. Now takes the pass down low. Sends it off the bottom of the rim. Milford doing all they could to defend despite giving up a lot of size. TJ Downing goes barreling ahead for the shot. Ends up looking back at the official, wondering where was the foul called. Nothing doing there. Now the ball comes loose on the baseline. Pellegrini keeps it from going out of play. And Milford defensively doing a very nice job so far in this third quarter. They've limited Foxboro to 6 points with just over 3 minutes left to play. A pretty closely played third quarter, 6-5 with the edge to the Warriors. But Milford obviously cannot afford to draw even, given the deficit. Kernan going one-on-one against Ava Hill, Tries to force her further out on the perimeter. Nice pass from Cunningham to Ava Baglione. Now out of the corner. Shot clock winding down. Ava with a nice looking layup, but again, it doesn't go down. And now Baglione is going to commit the foul on Kaylee Sullivan, and that's going to be 4 now on Ava, and this will force the junior to the sidelines. Kyla Nashawati checks into the game. Kernan with active hands. And there's Kaylee Sullivan with her first basket of the third quarter. She has just 7 points to this juncture. Less than 2.5 minutes to go in the third. Nashawati calling for that pass. It doesn't get there. Instead, it's another steal for Adriana Parazzo. And meanwhile, smiles for both Parazzo and Kernan as she came out on the perimeter to defend. Milford generates a turnover. Nashawati attacks the basket. The shot no good, but the ball is going to deflect out on the perimeter for an open look for Kernan, and she short rims it. Rebound for Sullivan. And then nice give and go up the floor, finished off by Parazzo. Nashawati looking for options. Gives it down low to Cunningham. Tries to dump that one in, but it's no good. Sullivan with another rebound. She'll pull up for an easy jumper. 4 points now in the later stages of this third quarter for the Hockomock leading scorer, as Foxboro makes it to the 50-point mark with 1:17 to go in the third, and Coach Costa is going to call a timeout. So the lead at 34 points now for the Warriors. Starting to come down to the later stages of the regular season as we look ahead to what's coming up for this Milford girls team. They will be on the road to close out this week. They'll be taking on the Sharon Eagles in Sharon on Friday night. Meanwhile, the boys team will finally return home. They will be taking on their Sharon counterparts here in the Milford gym, so we will have boys basketball coverage coming up for you live here across our Milford TV platforms on Friday night. And then looking at what's ahead for the girls next week, they will be home on February the 4th to take on the Attleboro Bombardiers, and then again on February the 7th to take on the King Philip Warriors. A lot of home games down the stretch here for Milford. They'll then close out their home schedule with the matchup against the Hopedale Blue Raiders on February 8th, and then it will be back-to-back road games to close out the season at Franklin on February 11th and at Taunton on Valentine's Day. We've still got a couple more games to cover for this girls team before we wrap up our regular season coverage. Cunningham attacking the basket. Her shot doesn't fall. Foxboro will take this ball ahead now with an even 60 seconds to go in quarter number 3. And right now the Warriors with both Addie Reuter and Ava Hill on the bench. Nashawati in trouble, gets the pass away. Downing looking for entry, instead releases a 3, and that's good. 7 points now in the game for TJ Downing. Nashawati pestering, looking for a steal. 13 seconds, shot clock is off as the ball is loose on the floor. And a quick jump ball as Bryn Allen was losing control of that basketball. So the quick whistle leads to the jump ball, but good news for Milford. Possession arrow pointing their way, and so they have 10 seconds here to try to make something happen at the close of the quarter. Nashawati hands off to Downing. 3 seconds left to go. Tosses up a contested shot, and so she'll have a chance for 3 free throws. The foul called on Bryn Allen. Two for two so far, one more to go. And cuts the lead down to 28 points. 1 second left as Sullivan releases from 3/4 of the way up the floor. No good, so Milford with a nice little mini run courtesy of TJ Downing to close out that third quarter. Still a big deficit on the scoreboard, 50-22. Foxboro on top of Milford. So we'll take one last time out here on the broadcast as we come to you live from our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth. We also want to recognize Unibank for being one of our general sponsors. Unibank, big bank know-how, community bank attitude. Check them out at their location in the Shaw's Plaza here in Milford. Fourth quarter is coming up next here on Milford TV. Stay tuned. Back in the Milford gym for fourth quarter coverage. Milford versus Foxboro girls basketball here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. In the midst of a Kids Eat Free promotion over at their Milford location. Happening from January 27th to 29th, so it's actually wrapping up here tonight. So if you're watching our live coverage, you can pack the kids in the car after, enjoy a nice dinner over at Rail Trail where the kids can eat free. Just over 30 seconds into this fourth quarter. Foxboro out of the corner. And now Sullivan attacking the basket. She gets the bucket. Third quarter, the closest played quarter of the game. Foxboro edging Milford 12-11. Fairly competitive in the second quarter as well. Foxboro with a 15-7 edge. The big problem was the first quarter as Cunningham collects a steal, puts in the points. The first quarter where Foxboro went on a 23-4 run to immediately establish a hefty lead. Cannot afford to dig that kind of a hole for yourself against a team of this caliber. Still 6:36 to play in this one, a 52-24 lead now. Trying to feed Reuter down low, and Milford commits the foul. Do they call it on Cunningham? They do, her second. Two team fouls now in the fourth quarter for Milford, none for the Warriors. Sullivan in some trouble. They eventually find Perazo cutting to the basket. She can't connect on the shot. Here's Kernan. Little Euro step on her way in. Shot is no good. Cunningham tries to put it back. And now it's TJ Downing tries a reverse lay-in and ends up picking up contact. So she'll head to the free throw line. And Reuter gets called for just her first foul of the night. And TJ Downing has been outstanding from the free throw line tonight, 6 for 6. She has 12 points in all, pacing the Milford offense as Sullivan carves her way inside. And so it's unclear at first if they called that on the floor. Now they put the points on the board, so chance for the three-point play for Sullivan. She's able to make it. So Sullivan now up to 14 points. Amelia Maloney into the game for the first time tonight now for Milford. Emily Jansen's back on the floor as well. Milford creates another turnover. Kernan able to feed Reagan Cunningham. 7 points in the night now for Reagan. Not too easy, meanwhile, on the other end for Addie Reuter. This was her first points of the second half after she built up double figures in the first half. Not a lot of pressure in the second half for the Warriors. And Reuter now left alone, and Kernan able to break up that shot attempt from behind. Downing now double teamed, loops it back out, and now Kernan will try her luck from three, and hasn't quite found her form from beyond the arc. Has made 1 3 tonight. And Foxboro taking their time here as we tick down to the final 4.5 minutes of this one. And that ball goes out of play. Hard to tell at first if Jansen's may have tipped that ball out, but this Milford ball. Kernan now on the sidelines, and so Coach Costa going bench heavy here in the fourth. As this ball is stolen away by Sullivan. Gets the layup. Her best offensive quarter of the night coming here in the fourth. So it is Nashawati, Jansen's, Maloney, and Cunningham with TJ Downing's the only starter still on the floor. Meanwhile, Kaylee Sullivan called for her second foul. Jansen's deep shot is no good. Maloney able to direct that rebound into the hands of Cunningham. And now Reagan will go back to the line. Ava Hill committing the foul. Coach Downs still leaving a lot of her starters on the floor. Addie Reuter is now on the sidelines. Sullivan still in the game. Hill still in the game. Adriana Perazo also still out on the floor as Cunningham misses the second free throw. And then Bryn Allen running the floor. She is able to get the layup. Foxboro crosses over the 60-point mark, so right around their nightly average. About 3.5 minutes to go as the ball comes back outside for Downing. Now Nashawati feeds it down low to Cunningham. Bodying up against Megan Brennan. And Cunningham going back to the line. Ava Hill now pulled to the sideline, replaced by Kylie Sampson. A 31-point Foxboro lead as we tick down to the final 3 minutes. And straight line shot drops in for 3 for Adriana Perazzo. And so Foxboro still not quite content to let the subs finish this one out. It's still Sullivan and Perazzo on the floor. Jansen's cutting to the basket, was wide open. Unfortunately, couldn't finish the layup. But a nice play executed there by Milford, just couldn't finish it at the rim. Kylie Sampson, meanwhile, able to lay one in. Nashawati loses the dribble, able to get it back. And now feeds it to Maloney, who kicks it back out for Jansen's. Now Maloney has Sullivan step in front to steal that ball away. Sullivan's shot is short. Cunningham with the defensive rebound. Now Nashawati, a little runner that doesn't go. You can see the exasperation on Kyla's face. It was a good shot, just bad luck around the rim. Less than 2 minutes to go now. And Caitlin Kernan pops over to the scorer's table, looking to get back into the action as Sullivan's shot from the perimeter is no good. Perazzo comes in and cleans it up, gets 2 more. And so now we will see Sullivan and Perazzo pulled to the bench. And meanwhile, Caitlin Kernan, who was perched at the scorer's table, doesn't end up coming in. So Foxboro now with a full bench complement out on the floor. As Nashawati releases from 3, shot is no good. Cunningham helps guide the rebound back to Kyla. And then Foxboro commits the foul. Nashawati, despite giving up a lot of size, not afraid to go into those dirty areas. So not a full bench unit, meanwhile, for Foxboro, as Alicia Drummonds is still out there on the floor. Milford putting some pressure on in the backcourt as we now have 60 seconds to go to finish things up here tonight. And then bucket for Aguas Vistas. A chance for a 3-point play. And so Caitlin Kernan will now come back out onto the floor with 56.6 seconds left. And meanwhile, Kyla Nashawati getting looked at over on the bench. Looking to be in a little bit of pain. Maybe came down hard on the right hip. As Kernan floats a shot up, it's no good. Ball goes out. We'll stay with Milford. 42.8 left on the clock. Jansen's has her shot rejected, gets her own rebound, puts up another attempt that is offline, and the shot clock is now turned off as Foxboro has a chance to run out the rest of this clock, except the ball drifts out of play away from Aguas Vistas, so Milford with an inbounds pass, 16 seconds left on the clock. We'll see if Milford can put in another bucket here. Certainly not the follow-up performance Milford would have wanted off of that big emotional victory over the Taunton Tigers last Friday night, but battling hard against a two-time division champ. Last chance for Caitlin Kernan is no good, and so Milford is going to find themselves on a losing end of a 71-30 final score. So just a tough night overall for Milford and this Foxboro team that, again, has suffered just one defeat against Hockomock League competition since 2022, continues to roll on in this season, looking to once again be one of the teams to watch out for as a prime championship contender. And so, again, the final score 71-30. Foxboro on top of Milford. The girls will be on the road on Friday, a chance to get back in the win column as they face the Sharon Eagles. Sharon having a tough season, just 1-12 overall on the year, so Milford hoping to get a competitive game on Friday night. Our next coverage will be on Friday night here in the Milford gym for the boys basketball team as they take on Sharon. That game will tip off at 6:30. And so you can expect that coverage across all of our Milford TV platforms. But that's going to wrap things up here for this evening. Once again, a big thank you to our Milford TV crew on hand for the coverage. Our director tonight is Chase Pettinelli, and our camera operator is Ethan Novelli, and I am Tim Coette. That final score one final time here from the Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth. 71-30, Foxboro defeats Milford. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. So long, everybody.